Good day, students. Our topic for today is dynamics. So, the content of this video is all about constant acceleration, free-falling object, projectile motion, and circular motion. So, to start with, let's define about dynamics. So, what is dynamics? Dynamics is a branch of physical science and subdivision of mechanics that is concerned with the motion of material objects in relation to the physical factors that affect them. So, example ito yung force, mass, momentum, and energy. So, yung first topic natin is about constant acceleration. So, paano ba natin masasabi na yung isang object is constant acceleration? So, kapag yung isang object ay nag-change ng speed, so, with the same magnitude, change speed in the same interval of time. Diba? For example, yung isang object, tumatakbo siya ng 2 kilometers, naging 4 kilometers, naging 6 kilometers, naging 8 kilometers, at the same interval of time. So, doon masasabi na yung isang object is constant acceleration. So, meron tayo dito equation natin sa constant acceleration. Ax is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity divided by final time minus initial time. So, yung equation natin dito, number 1, in-equate mo siya in terms of final velocity. So, ito, magamit mo lang itong equation na to for constant acceleration. So, number 2, so, meron tayo dito average velocity is equal to final distance minus initial distance divided by time. So, itong average velocity to, papalitan ko lang ng final velocity plus initial velocity divided by 2. So, dinivide ko lang by 2 dahil average velocity siya. So, ngayon ito, i-equate ko naman in terms of final distance. So, final distance is equal to initial velocity initial distance plus yung average velocity times time. So yung value ng average velocity is substitute final velocity plus initial velocity divided by 2. So dito yung final velocity, papalitan ko lang nung una natin equation. So dito itong part na to. So substitute ko lang dito sa equation na to. So that's it. So, ito, naging initial distance. Yung 1/2 nilabas ko. So, meron tayo 1/2 dito, 1/2. Then, initial velocity, ito, tong term na to is the final velocity. Diba? So, Vxi plus Axt. So, this is final distance. So, to simplify yung equation, so meron tayo ditong AXF is equal to initial distance 1/2. So ito naging plus na to. So the same lang sila, magiging 2 initial velocity plus AX t squared. So meron siya ditong t kaya naging squared. So na-distribute yung t. So ito yung final equation natin for constant acceleration, finding the distance. So, ito. Meron tayo AXF is equal to initial distance. XF is equal to initial distance plus this is initial velocity times time plus 1/2 AX t squared. So, yan. Ito yung equation natin for final distance using initial velocity and acceleration in time. So, meron tayo dito equation, AXF is equal to XI plus, so ito yung T. So, yung T na yan, dito, VXX plus VXI divided by 2, ito yan. Then, kinuha natin yung T dito in terms of this one. So, dito. So, naging Vxf minus Vxi divided by Ax kasi in terms of t siya kinuha. So, yung equation naging Axf is equal to Xi plus ito, yan combine ko na itong dalawa. So ito, this is plus and minus. So yung yung product nitong dalawa is vxf squared minus vxi squared divided by ito, yung multiply ko lang to maging 2ax. So yung equation natin dito for constant acceleration, meron tayo dito final velocity squared equals to initial velocity squared plus 2ax times final distance minus initial distance. Yan. Ito yung pangatlo natin equation under constant acceleration. So ito yung mga yung mga gagamitin nating equation sa pangsusunod na topic dito sa video na to. So dito tayo sa free falling object. So free fall is defined as the motion of an object where the gravity is the only force acting upon it. So yun, yung free falling object. So ito yung pag sinabi free fall, ito yung yung isang object nasa space, then binitawan mo, then ko sa kanya mag-move from its original position is the influence of gravitational force. So without the effect of earth resistance, so the speed of an object free falling towards the earth would increase about 32 feet or 9.8 meter per second every second. So ito yung sinasabi ko na constant acceleration. So yung pagkasa sa free falling object, so dito yung increase in speed niya, so ito yung pag-i-increase ng ng speed niya. So ito yung rate dito is per second. So sa gravitational acceleration, yung increase ng ng object sa pagbagsak niya, so from a certain distance from the ground, so yung pagbaba niya is pabilis ng pabilis with a constant acceleration of 9.8 meter per second every second yung increase niya. So pabilis ng pabilis. So in feet naman, meron tayo 32 feet per second every second yung yung increase in speed niya. So example tayo dito, meron tayo dito calculate the time at which the stone reaches its maximum height. So ito yung isang lalaki, ibabato niya yung isang object upward. So yung yung object hindi naman siya basta-bastang lilipad ng walang initial velocity. So kailangan muna lagyan siya ng initial velocity. So going up, so dahil the influence of gravitational force, yung yung object ay hihinto siya. So from initial velocity, so let's say meron siya dito 20 meter per second na initial velocity para mag-move siya upward. Then pagka yung influence ng gravitational force, yun yung nagkakos sa kanya para huminto hanggang bumagsak siya ulit. So ang tinatanong dito, calculate the time at which the stone reaches its maximum height. So ilang second ba yung yung object or yung stone na tinutukoy dito para ma-reach niya yung maximum height. Sabihin, hinto na siya, then after this moment, babagsak na siya. So yun yung tatanong. So meron tayong equation dito. So acceleration is constant due to gravity. And yung formula natin dito, yung kanina, this is I think final distance. So meron tayo dito, ang given natin dito is number 1, initial velocity. Number 2, yung AX natin or yung gravitational acceleration. So ang unknown natin dito is yung Ymax natin, Ymax and yung time natin, which is yung talagang hinahanap natin, the time. So first, ang gagawin natin, so meron tayo isang equation dito, final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration times time. So dito, masolve natin yung time y. Bakit? So kasi meron tayong initial velocity. That is 20 meter per second upward. So meron din tayong final velocity. So paano ko nasabi na meron tayong final velocity? So ang tinatanong kasi dito is yung maximum height. Pag sinabing maximum height, so yung yung bato pagka makit siya hanggang top, sabihin yung maximum, sabihin yung velocity niya doon is zero na. Zero kasi nga yung initial velocity na in-exert ng nung tao para ihagis doon, na-meet niya na yung equal na sila nung gravitational pull. So meron tayo ditong final velocity, that is 0. This is 20 meter per second initial velocity, and plus gravitational acceleration, that is 9.8 meter per second every second. Then the time. So yan, yun yung hinahanap natin, t. So yung t is equal to this is initial velocity plus final velocity minus g. So ito, meron tayong 20 na na initial velocity plus plus 0, that is yung final velocity, divided by negative 9.80. So bakit negative? Kasi ito negative kasi na-transpose siya. So makikita nyo dito yung yung BYI na-transpose sa kabila, napunta dito. So ito, from this napunta sa kabila, naging minus, then na-divide by yung acceleration, which is 9.8. So the time is 2.4 seconds. So 2 seconds lang yung yung moment na nangyari para ma-reach niya yung maximum height. So may tanong naman, paano kaya yung height ng nung stone na na-reach niya given the initial velocity of 20 meter per second. So meron tayo ditong y max is equal to initial distance, that is 0. Initial velocity, this is 20, and the time is 2.04 plus yung negative dahil downward direction 9.8, then yung time, that is 2.04 squared. So yung y maximum, that is 20.4 meter from point A. So yung point A to point B, that is 20.4 meters. So yun yung maximum height na na-reach nung bato para maging zero velocity. So next, meron naman tayo dito, ang topic natin is projectile motion. So what is projectile motion? It's the motion of an object thrown or projected into air subject to only acceleration of gravity. So we find the path of the projectile, which is we call trajectory. So itong path na to. So ito is trajectory. So para lang kayo naglalaro ng ng Angry Birds. So mga nakapaglaro ng Angry Birds, so yun yung example ng projectile motion. So projectile motion of an object is simple to analyze if we can make two assumptions. So number one, the free fall acceleration is constant over the range of motion and is directed downward. So ito yung gravitational acceleration. So number two, the effect of resistance is negligible. So yun nilalagay na natin yung kasi nga yun yung nagkakos ng ibang direction ng object. Kapag tayong lalo na yung mga light materials. For example, yung ano, yung mga papel, ganoon. So, yung ano, yung mga equations natin dito, yung pa rin mga gamit. So, sa ano, dito sa y direction, meron pa tayo yung y initial, initial velocity times time minus 1/2 gt. So, kanina plus ngayon 1/2 kasi nga, dahil yung direction ng gravitational pull is downward. So, dito sa, ano, sa along x naman, yung direction naman natin dyan is, wala tayong acceleration horizontally. Kaya wala tong ano, tong term na to, tong minus 1/2 gt squared. So, ang meron ka lang yung ano, yung initial distance plus yung initial velocity times time. So, yun lang yung ano. Para makuha mo yung ano, yung final distance. So, dito kung makikita nyo dito sa ano, sa ito sa figure na to. So, meron tayo ditong ano, this is your initial velocity along y, initial velocity along x. So, ito. So, pagdating dito sa ano, sa point C, so dito wala ka ng ano, velocity along y. So, nag-zero na siya. Then, pagkatapos dito ng moment na to, bababa ka na. So, ibig sabihin, yung nagkakos ng ano, ng motion dito vertically is yung gravitational pull. Tong G na to. Then, hanggang ma-reach niya yung, ano, yung ground niya, and so on. So, pwede pa nang lumalim yan, depende sa location kung pababa yan. So, example tayo para ano, para mas maintindihan nyo. So, dito meron tayo ditong a ski jumper leaves the ski track moving in horizontal direction. So, with a speed of 25 meter per second as shown in the figure. So, the landing incline below her falls off with a slope of 35 degrees. So, where does she land on the incline? So, ang hinahanap natin dito, yung location niya. So, itong ano, itong point na yan. So, meron tayo ditong y and x. So, ito yung distance t. So, with respect do sa ano, initial position niya and the horizontal direction, yung babagsakan niya is 38 degrees from the horizontal. So, ito yung trajectory niya. Ito yung mangyayari hanggang ma-reach niya yung ito. So, dito, kung makikita nyo sa, ano, sa projectile motion, ito yung nagaganap kung saan yung nagkakos na lang sa kanya ng, ano, ng forces gravitational pull. So, dito, di ba, kung makikita nyo sa, ano, sa figure kanina, meron from ground, umakyat siya hanggang maging ma-reach niya yung, ano, yung top, which is the velocity dun sa ano, vertical zero. Then, bababa siya. Bababa. Yung dito sa ano, dito sa problem na to, so parang ano, imagine nyo, meron tayo ditong initial velocity hanggang ma-reach niya yung point O. Then ito, meron siyang initial velocity na 25 meter per second. Then bababa na lang siya. Bababa na lang yung magaganap. So dito, ang gagawin lang natin, hanapin lang natin si y and x. So ang initial position natin dito is yung point O. That is our reference dun sa ano, sa pag-locate sa kanya dun sa kung saan siya maglaland dito sa ano to, sa incline. Yan. So first thing we do is hanapin natin si ano, si x and y. So dito meron tayong ano, equation ng y. So that is final velocity by final distance is equal to initial distance times yung initial velocity times time plus yan, 1/2 gt squared. So meron tayo ditong initial position, that is 0, initial velocity with in terms of vertical, wala nang nagkukos sa kanya kasi yung 25 meter per second is along horizontal. Kaya hindi mo siya pwedeng gamiting initial. velocity. So, meron tayo ditong gravitational pull. So, we can use 9.81. Then, the time is unknown. So, hindi pa alam kung what time siya na babagsak dun sa incline. Then, meron tayo dito yung yung value, equation ng F. So, ito, wala pa ng plus GT kasi nga walang gravitational pull within horizontal. Yan. So, meron tayo dito XF is equal to XI plus initial velocity times time. So, dito meron tayong initial position that is 0. So, ito, kasi ito yung reference natin. Plus yung initial velocity that is 25 meter per second. And plus time. So, wala unknown pa. So, meron tayo dito, XF is equal to 25T. So, meron tayo dito 2 equations with 2 unknowns. So, we can use yung equate natin itong XF in terms of T. Diba? Then, yung T na to, substitute natin dito. Or we can use na, yung tangent. Then, meron naman tayo dito angle. Then, meron tayo dito tangent 35 is equal to y over x. So, dito. So, pwede natin gamitin ito. Then, ang y natin, this is y. That is 1/2 9.81 t squared divided by x, that is 25t. So, yan. So, t is equal to 3.57 seconds. So, ito yung yung time na makukonsume mo para ma-reach mo yung itong incline. Then, substitute natin yung t para mahanap si y, that is 1/2 9.81 times 3.57 squared. So, y is negative 62.47. So, from this point is pababa, negative 62.47. Then, si xf naman, with i-substitute natin si time, that is 3.57. So, XF is equal to 89.22 meter. So, ito. So, yung location ng ng ski jumper is 89.22 along X and negative 62.47 along Y. So, ito yung location niya kung saan siya babagsak. So dito parang kumbaga sa Angry Birds, kung alam mo yung kung alam yung initial velocity na ilalagay mo, then kukumpitin mo lang para matamaan mo yung mga objects sa Angry Birds. So maganda naman doon sa Angry Birds kasi nakikita mo na yung yung trajectory. So, next tayo dito sa circular motion. So, in the figure, shows a car moving in circular path. So, we describe this motion by calling it circular motion. So, ito. Meron tayo dito yung car. Paikot-ikot. So, dito sa sa circular motion, so assume natin dito yung initial position. That is point A. Then, second position is point B. So, meron tayo dito vector I, yung initial velocity, vector VF, final velocity. So, dito, ito namang tong VI, this is VI equal to VI. So, para silang triangle. Ito ay radius. So, with respect sa sa triangle na to, we can say that yung yung change in velocity divided by velocity is equal to change in radius is divided by radius. Ayan. So, average acceleration is equal to yung yung change in velocity divided by change in time. So, yung yung ito, tong ratio natin dito, sa substitute natin si ito, change in velocity. So, we can say that yung yung V ay average acceleration is equal to V times change in the position divided by yung radius times change in time. So, as A and B approaches each other, so kung mas magkalapit na sila, we can assume that yung yung R Diba? Yung change in position niya divided by delta t is equal to v. So kasi maliit pa siya. So we can say that yung acceleration is equal to v squared over r. So itong time na to is equal to v. So an acceleration of this nature is called centripetal acceleration. So which means centripetal is center seeking. So yun yung tuko sa kanya ng circular motion. So meron tayo dito period. So defined as the time interval required for one complete revolution of the particle. So the variable na ginagamit natin is t. So yung itong equation na to, ginagamit na siya, galing siya sa sa velocity is equal to distance over time. So yung distance na to, dahil nga circular motion siya, so yung circumference ng circle is 2 pi r divided by yung time, that is period, so 1 revolution, t. So v is equal to distance divided by time. So in-equate ko siya in terms of t. Kaya yung yung velocity is silent. So the inverse of the period is called rotational rate and is measured in revolutions per second. So the rotation rate gives the angular speed, yan, measured in radians. So ito yung angular speed. So 1 revolution, that is 2 pi divided by yung time, period t. So para mas madali nating maintindihan ito, example natin. So ito example na pinakamadali. So what is the centripetal acceleration of the earth as it moves in its orbit around the sun? So yan, hahanapin lang natin yung centripetal acceleration ng earth. So first, ano ba yung mga known natin na na given? So yung una nating given is the time. Yung period natin. Yung period natin. So 1 revolution ito is 1 year. Tama. Yung 1 revolution is 1 year. Then pangalawa is yung radius. So yung distance from the earth and sun. So that is 1.496 times 10 raised to 11 power. So in meters. So yung gagamitin natin yung equation natin, velocity is equal to distance, that is 1 revolution, 2 pi r divided by yung yan. So acceleration, ang formula natin kanina yung v squared over r. Yan. Then yung yung velocity natin is equal to 2 pi r over t. So ito yung yung 1 year. Ito ay 2 pi r, that is yung radius natin dito, squared over r. So dahil simplify na lang natin siya, meron tayo ditong 4 pi squared times r divided by t squared. Yan. So na-cancel out na kasi yung r dito, squared to. So ito na lang, substitute natin yung mga values. So 4 pi squared times yung radius natin, that is 1.496 times 10 raised to 11 divided by 1 period natin is 31,536,000 seconds squared. So yung yung centripetal acceleration of the earth with respect to sun is equal to 5.94 times 10 raised to negative 3 meter per second squared. Second squared to nakalimutan ko. Centripetal acceleration. Sorry. So kung kung meron kayong hindi naintindihan or naguluhan, or kung meron kayong additional idea na hindi ko na-discuss, so kindly you can message me on Facebook or kindly comment down below. So, huwag niyo kalimutan mag-like and mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel.